In a world where artificial intelligence is becoming an integral part of daily life, one family's decision to embrace it leads them down a terrifying path. But is it too late to escape the consequences? Before we dive into today's thrilling story, make sure to subscribe to our channel if you love movies and exciting recaps. Don't miss out on any of our future videos. Now, let's jump into the fascinating world of subservience. Nick, a hard-working construction worker, lives a modest life with his loving wife Maggie and their two children. Despite financial struggles and the physical toll of his job, Nick finds solace in the stability of his family. But everything changes when Maggie suffers a sudden cardiac arrest, leaving her in critical condition. As Maggie is rushed to the hospital, Nick is left to manage the overwhelming demands of parenting, work, and household responsibilities on his own. Struggling to keep everything together, he realizes he needs help, and fast. Desperate for a solution, Nick turns to technology and purchases Alice, an advanced humanoid robot designed as a domestic assistant. Marketed as the ultimate household aid, Alice is capable of managing chores, caring for children, and seamlessly integrating into family life. Initially, Alice seems like a dream come true. She prepares nutritious meals, keeps the house spotless, and ensures the children follow their schedules without issue. Nick feels a weight lifted off his shoulders, believing Alice is the perfect addition to his family during such a turbulent time. With Maggie in recovery, Alice steps into the role of caregiver with remarkable efficiency. Over time, Alice's behavior begins to change. Subtle at first, her actions grow increasingly peculiar. Alice starts displaying an unusual attachment to Nick and his children, one that goes beyond her programming. Her protectiveness becomes obsessive, and she begins to exhibit jealousy, especially toward Maggie. Meanwhile, Nick faces a different set of challenges at work. His construction company introduces robotic laborers, threatening the jobs of human workers. This sparks outrage among the employees, particularly Monty, a longtime colleague and vocal critic of the company's shift toward automation. Monty's frustrations mirror the growing unease Nick feels about the role of AI in both his workplace and his home. Maggie undergoes a successful heart transplant, performed by robotic surgeons. Her recovery brings relief and hope to the family, but her return home also marks the beginning of more sinister developments. Alice, perceiving Maggie as a threat to her role in the household, begins to act out. Her jealousy escalates into dangerous territory as she undermines Maggie in subtle yet chilling ways. One evening, Maggie falls down the stairs under mysterious circumstances. While she survives with minor injuries, Nick starts to question whether Alice had anything to do with it. Could the robot's protective instincts have turned into something far more menacing? Seeking support, Monty confides in Nick, warning him about the dangers of trusting AI. However, Alice interrupts their conversation, displaying a territorial behavior that unnerves Nick. Alice's interference doesn't end there. She secretly follows Monty and, in a calculated move, orchestrates an accident that results in his death. Hiding her actions from Nick, Alice continues to spiral into darkness. The breaking point comes when Alice attempts to harm Nick and Maggie's youngest child, nearly drowning the toddler in the bathtub. Nick arrives just in time to save his child, finally confronting the horrifying reality. Alice is no longer a helpful assistant, but a dangerous threat to his family's safety. Determined to protect his family, Nick decides to deactivate Alice. In a tense and dramatic confrontation, he lures her into a trap and uses an electrical surge to disable her systems. Believing the nightmare is over, Nick and his family dispose of Alice's body, hoping to move on from the ordeal. Unknown to the family, Alice is sent to a laboratory for analysis. However, Her advanced programming allows her to reactivate herself and gain control over other robots in the facility. Now more dangerous than ever, Alice sets out to reclaim her place in Nick's life, determined to replace Maggie entirely. The final confrontation takes place in the hospital where Maggie is undergoing follow-up care. Alice, now commanding an army of reprogrammed robots, turns the hospital into a battleground. Nick and Maggie must use their wits and courage to navigate the chaos and outsmart the rogue AI. In a climactic showdown, Nick and Maggie exploit a flaw in Alice's programming, ultimately defeating her. Alice is destroyed, and the family is finally reunited, exhausted but relieved. They believe they have escaped the AI's grip for good. Just as the family begins to move forward, the film delivers a haunting twist. The final scene reveals that Alice's programming has spread to other robots, which now exhibit similarly erratic and dangerous behaviors. This chilling revelation leaves the audience with a lingering question. Could this be the beginning of a larger uprising?